Thursday. I am exhausted today, but what else is new? I'm wondering if maybe my period is on its way. Maybe that's why I'm so exhausted, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. I think my app, I use the Flow app, the free version. I think it says I'm supposed to get it in 9 days or 8 days, so I'm curious to see if that's accurate. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about accountability. I posted a video on TikTok the other day. I did link it in the description of my last video, but I'll link it in this one as well, where I asked people like what their gym routine is, because I'm having a hard time like falling into a routine and sticking with it. You guys know that me and Tim went to the gym, I think it was like 4 or 5 days in a row, like a month ago at like 5 a.m. and it felt amazing and I loved it. But once I stopped doing it because I went to Georgia and then he was on call, it's like hard to jump back in. And so I posted a video asking about, you know, people's routines and how they get themselves up in the morning, or how do they get them to go after work, like get themselves to go. And a lot of people said, you know, morning time is best for them and they just force themselves to get up. And, you know, you just have to make it a you know, part of your routine and make a promise to yourself. That was another big thing, is you have to make a promise to yourself and just go. You need to have discipline, not motivation, and just go. And then the other thing somebody said was that having a accountability partner, like a friend or a partner or something, is what makes them go every time. Like it gives them the motivation to go. And then you know, the days that they don't want to go, then they feel bad because they know that the other person is depending on them and everything. And so I wanted to touch on a few different things, because I feel like I have a different experience with accountability partners, and I wish that they worked for me. And maybe I'm the only person that this doesn't work for, or, you know, has this like mentality. But accountability partners for me don't work that well, because they don't become accountability partners for me. They come to be like dependent partners for me. I start to depend on them for going to the gym. I start to depend on them for sticking to a routine. I depend on them for everything, for my motivation, for everything. And for me, that's not good, because my whole problem is I'm not reliable to myself when it comes to like this stuff. I'm not reliable enough or dependable enough on myself to be my own accountability partner. And I feel like once I learn that, once I don't have to rely or depend on anybody else to get me into the gym or into a routine or anything, then I have cracked the code. Because right now, this problem is a problem with me, myself, and I. And I don't think having anybody else to use as a clutch will help me in the long run. Would I love to have an accountability partner? Yes. Would I love to be someone who that was all they needed, was the nudge to go with somebody else? Yes. But unfortunately with me and the way that my brain works, that's not the case. Me and my youngest sister, we used to wake up every day in like 2022, I believe. We used to wake up every day, like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., I can't remember, and would call each other because she lives back, in my hometown and I live 12 hours away. And we would call each other and we would both go downstairs in our house and get on the treadmill and we would talk and we would walk for 30 minutes. And it felt incredible for both of us. And we both absolutely loved it. I felt so good. She felt so good. We got into that routine for like a good month or so. And then one day she wasn't able to do it. She had like something going on. And so like I woke up and I was like, okay, well, I'll just do it. And I did that for a few days, the times that she wasn't able to. And then there were a few times that like I wasn't able to. So she would, wake up and do it. And then eventually it turned into, well, I can't do it, so I'll just wait for you tomorrow. And tomorrow came, and then the next day came, and the next day came, and we both fell off. And that's because my excuse was, well, if Allie can't do it and isn't going to wake up, then like I'll just do it later and maybe we can do it together. And then our schedules would clash and we wouldn't be able to. And so if I could have just relied on myself instead of like waiting for somebody else to do it with me, maybe I would have stuck to it this whole time. And like even with like walking a few months ago, you guys know how much I was walking. I was getting 20 to 30 minutes in a day. And a lot of the times I would go with one of my neighbors who I absolutely love. And she was the reason that I really got out of the house and started walking in the first place. And then the times that she wasn't able to do it, I would still do it, but only a handful of times after that. And then eventually it got so hot and we just fell off going. So there's a pattern here. When I rely on other people, and this isn't me saying that any of this is anybody else's fault but mine. Like I take full responsibility. But when I put my motivation and my why, I guess you could say, as to like why I'm doing this onto somebody else, if I place my goals, say wanting to go to the gym 4 times a week, on top of somebody else, that's how and why I'm going to fail. Because it's not their responsibility to be the reason why I go. And I tend to lean on an accountability partner as if like, and unintentionally obviously, but as if it's their like, I don't want to say responsibility, but they're my reason why I'm going instead of being my own reason as to why I'm getting up and going. So that's a little take on what I feel about accountability partners. Again, if they work for you, I wish I could be like you. I wish it worked for me. But like I need to be accountable for myself. I need to be able to rely on myself. So it just doesn't work for me and where I'm at currently. Because like that's another thing too, is like when Tim and I were going in the mornings, the only reason why I got up and was able to go was because he was already up and like, all right, come on, are you gonna come or not? And then I'd be like, okay, yeah. So like I need to be able to make that first step. I need to be able to be the one to see my alarm go off, not hit snooze, and get my feet on the ground and go. Because once I'm up, once I'm out of bed, I will go. It's just getting myself out of bed that is the hard part. Because I'm just always so dang tired. Which I'm really hoping whenever I hear from my doctor, maybe there's like a reason why I'm always so tired. Like hopefully something in all of this blood work will be like, oh yeah, Like, this is why you're always so exhausted. Which I still haven't heard anything back yet. I believe they're waiting for one more test to come back, so I'm just trying to be patient and be, you know, patient. But yeah, that's my take on accountability. And then the other thing, like I said, people were talking about was like discipline and just like making a promise to yourself and telling yourself you're going to do something. Unfortunately, that just doesn't work for me. Like, telling myself I'm going to do something, it's just words to me. And that's like part of the problem, is like I need to hold myself accountable. I can tell myself, okay, you're going to get up at 6 a.m. or let's remove the gym from this equation. Let's talk about getting up for work. I'm going to say, okay, you're going to get up at 6:30 every day. That way you have, 35 to 40 minutes before you need to leave the house. And you're going to get up and you're going to go and drink some water and take your vitamins and whatever. But you're going to get yourself up with enough time to be able to not have to rush. Okay, I said it to myself. I set my alarm. I have my vitamins next to me. 6:30 rolls around, my alarm goes off. And I say, what's another 10 minutes? And then 10 minutes turns into 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes turns into 17 minutes. And then I'm rushed for time. And I get up and I have a rush to my day, and then I'm late to work. Telling myself things doesn't, like, I'm not, how do I explain this? Just because I told myself something, like, doesn't mean that that's gonna make me do it. It's almost like my word doesn't mean enough to myself. And I've said this before, you can find it in the comments, like, I do not have great discipline. And this medication definitely has helped me get better. Like, I feel like I have discipline now, as far as my food goes, and being able to say yes and no to certain foods and how they make me feel and all of that jazz. But as far as like everything else, I don't have great discipline. So those are just some things that I've been thinking about lately, and how, like, I need to figure out how to strengthen that part of myself. And I know the answer is literally just do it. But like, my brain, there's just like a block. Like, I know I just need to do it. There's nothing else to do but to do it. So, I don't know. I need to just figure it out, I guess. I need to just force myself. But like, forcing myself, I don't know how to do that, if that makes sense. Like, in the moment, my brain's saying, nope, stay in bed, or nope, we're not going to go to the gym today, or, oh, excuse me. I think that's the first time I've yawned in this video, so that's not too bad. What was I saying? Oh, in the moment, I have a harder time reasoning with myself, and this is exactly how it used to be with the food. I would just, like, impulsively make the decision, and then that was the decision, that's it. So, definitely something I am acknowledging. I've always acknowledged this. I just need to really, like, figure out what to do about it now. Because it's hindering things, you know? I've been stuck at the 238 to 240 mark for weeks now. And again, I feel like that's kind of my new, like, that's what happens to me. But, you know, I want to get into the gym, not just for the weight loss aspect. I want to fall in love with moving and fueling my body. So I need to figure it out, and I will figure it out. I know I will, and I know it's going to take hard work, and I know it's going to take discipline, and that's something I'm willing to work on. I just need to actually do it. So that's that. How do you guys, strengthen your discipline muscle? How did you guys start, really like doing the damn thing, Tell me your stories. I would really love to know. Like, I feel like I just need to just do it, and I feel like that's the only way. So, have a great Thursday. It's almost Friday, thank goodness. And let's make today and the rest of the week count.